everyone. So, while still at the attempt of delving a lot more into the restructuring process for Cytonn, I have a sit-in guest with me who's going to introduce themselves as we delve into the discussion. But before that, I am Matara Hulda. Just stay till the end. So kindly introduce yourself.
So my name is Val. I am a CRC member. CRC stands for Creditors Restructuring Committee. Prior to that, I was an investor and is an investor of CHYS CPN, which went belly up since COVID-19. And a lot of things happened since then. However, here we are trying to revive the fund, and we formed a committee called CRC, of which I'm a member.
Okay, thank you. So we are talking restructuring. There might be someone who doesn't entirely understand restructuring but is following. So if you could break down restructuring in sort of a layman's language.
So what restructuring means is that right now it's going through a court case whereby the liquidator is the official receiver who has the mandate to sell the assets and recover some money so they can be dispersed to the clients and give them back their principal. However, the problem with that is that by law, they're supposed to pay the unsecured creditors first, take out their 5% fees, and then pay back the money to the secured creditors. So that's the thing. But by the time they pay the unsecured creditors and they take out their fees, there would be left nothing to pay back the secured creditors. Mm-hmm. That is why we've come up with something called the restructuring. Under restructuring, we would sell the assets, pay you 50%, and the other 50% we would be using it to invest in the other properties so the construction is completed. And the reason why we want to complete the construction of those assets is because when you sell them, you get the fair market value, as opposed to when you sell it under liquidation, as the OR says, under its incomplete form, and you will not get the full market value. Moreover, they are going to sell it at a throwaway price, which is called the distress sale. And like I said, with that money, by the time they pay the unsecured creditors, there will be nothing left for, by the time they pay the secured creditors, there will be nothing left for unsecured creditors. That is why we've come up with something called restructuring. Under restructuring, if we do the way it is being mandated under DSP, which is debt settlement payment, you will get 100% of your principal, and with the uptake of the assets, you can even recover the interest that you lost in 2020, 2021.
Mm-hmm. So in other words, we are talking in terms of numbers, we are saying restructuring favors both secured and unsecured creditors.
Absolutely. So we are going to be treating both secured and unsecured creditors under restructuring as equals.
Okay. You sit in the restructuring committee.
Yes.
Why do you support restructuring? What are your reasons?
Very simple. I want to get 100% of my money. The OR tells me I'll only get 14%. Mm-hmm. And I checked out the workings. The mathematics clearly says, yes, you'll only get 14% of your money back. But that's not what I want. I want 100% of my money back. And that's why I support restructuring.
Okay, that's clear. So when we're talking restructuring efforts, we are looking towards the long-term success of the whole thing. So what financial metrics and performance indicators do we use to gauge whether the restructuring is going to be successful?
So first of all, we want to make sure that the buyers that buy our assets are buying it at a fair market value. That's number one. That's where we start. Once we get that money, we not only have money to pay back the creditors, we also have some monies left to complete the construction of the other assets. That will be our performance metrics. Under restructuring, you're going to get 100% of the principal that you put.
So
So interest-wise, the DSP to work out, the restructuring to work out, it's under the assumption that the creditors will waive off the interest earned in 2020, 2021. Okay, that's a very conservative approach. However, by the time we revive the other assets, we complete the assets, it is our belief that you can make up the lost interest with the uptake of the asset value. And real estate in this country always appreciates over a period of time. So you can make up for the lost interest.
So talking creditors, what message would you give to creditors, both secured and unsecured, in this whole thing?
So I understand that money is emotional. In this case, I've done a lot of studies. This particular CHYS CPN fund, there are 4,000 creditors. All 4,000 creditors have put all their money into these funds. Some of them have put their entire life savings. Some of them have put the money that they have put aside for their kids' education, and now their kids cannot go to universities because parents don't have money to send them to universities. Some of them have put that money aside for medical payment for their loved ones, and now they are suffering health-wise. So when you don't have this money, you have to let down a lot of people. That is emotional, and that is why I said money is emotional. And because of that, for good reason, some of them have lost hope. For those people, and I believe there are all 4,000 of them, this is my message: do not lose hope. We are trying our best. We are working very hard to solve this issue, this challenge, and give back the money. And we don't care however much time it takes, but we are working very hard. The reason why some of them are disappointed is because the court case takes a lot of time. Okay, so that is why we said, let's do it out of court. So right now what we are working on is to get an administrator and insolvency petitioner practitioner to come on board to help us to solve this out of court with a consent agreement with all the parties involved, both secured and unsecured creditors. We were working very hard. In fact, we had a meeting today as well. We touched upon a lot of things. Our agenda is to reduce the amount of time it takes to settle the debt. So we are working very hard. Don't lose hope. That's my message.
We know there are stakeholders, whether secured or unsecured creditors, who might be or still are skeptical about restructuring. So you have a minute. That is your camera.
Okay. I understand the skepticism. I'm one of you. I'm a creditor. I'm not Cytonn. I'm not the company. I'm a creditor. I'm suffering myself. I understand your pain. Do not lose hope. We are really, really working hard. We are not magicians. We are not divine people, but we are human beings, and we are working very hard, whatever humanly possible, to get you out of this system. And I really hope that this will work out. This out-of-court settlement will really work out. What you can do right now is, if you can avoid any negative propaganda and buy into the stories that the liquidation team is selling you, refrain from buying into those stories. They do not work. Restructuring is the way to give you back 100% of your money. You're working very hard. I believe that if we can pull this off, this out of court settlement, we can work towards giving back. We can all get our money back, and don't lose hope. Let's see how this works. And I'll be the first one, this is my promise, I'll be the first one to tell you if it doesn't work out. But right now, I think it'll work.